know what we have in our class? A toy show. Each of us brought a toy for the show. And we're going to tell about our toys, how we play with them, and how we take care of them. But first, we're going to hear a story about how we get toys and where they come from. The story is called The Toy Truck. Once there was a little telephone repair truck. It looked just like the real ones that you see on the street every day. But this was a toy truck. It came from a toy factory where many people worked to make it. Watch how the parts of the truck are put together. As each truck is finished, it is tested to be sure it will work. Many trucks are made in the factory, but one particular truck had a little spot of yellow paint. That was an accident. This little truck and all the others were packed in boxes. Outside the factory, the boxes were loaded into a truck. And taken to the railroad station. Trains carried the toys to cities and towns all over the country. Then they were unloaded to be delivered to stores. Think how far the toys have traveled, how many people worked to bring the toys here from the factory, and think how many people worked to make all the other toys in the store. It's fun to go to the toy store where the shelves are full of toys. It's a wonderful make-believe land, just right for girls and boys. Now, some of the toy telephone trucks had come to this store to be sold, to finish their long trip from the factory to the homes of girls and boys. Look, there's the truck with a spot of yellow paint. Who do you suppose will buy it? The toy store was big, and many people came to look at the toys and to buy them. Sometimes people bought toys for birthday presents. Sometimes people bought toys to put away until Christmas. Sometimes children saved up money so they could buy toys for themselves. Many people bought the toy telephone trucks until there were only 2 left. And soon, the only truck left on the counter was the one with the spot of paint. One little boy wanted it, but his mother thought he was too young for it. One girl liked the way it looked, but she thought she was too old for it. Wouldn't anyone buy the truck with a spot of paint? Then along came Curtis David Wilson III. His friends all call him Skipper. Skipper was just the right age for the telephone repair truck. If only he might buy the truck. Now, there were all sorts of toys in the store, but somehow Skipper took a special liking to this particular one. Now, Skipper didn't have any money, but Mother could see how much he liked it. So, do you know what she did? Yes, Mother bought the telephone repair truck for Skipper. Tomorrow was going to be a special day for Skipper. Can you guess what day it was going to be? Yes, Mother was buying the truck for a birthday surprise. And so, the little telephone repair truck with the yellow spot left the toy store with Skipper and his mother. Well, the next day was Skipper's birthday. He was having fun playing games with his friends. He was also having fun playing with the birthday presents his friends and his family had given him. He was going to enjoy these toys for a long time. But there was one present Skipper didn't know about yet. Mother knew about it. Father knew about it. And we know about it too, don't we? There it is. Skipper thought this was the best gift of all. He thanked Mother and Father for giving him the truck. But we know that other people helped Skipper get his truck, don't we? The people who worked in the toy factory. The men who took the toys from the factory to the store. The people who worked in the toy store. All these people helped Skipper get his telephone repair truck. Now, Skipper wanted his friends to see and enjoy it. He wanted them all to have as much fun with it as he was going to have. And Skipper was going to take good care of it, so it would last for a long, long time. Now we know the story of the toy truck. We know where toys come from and how we get them. Now, let's tell about our own toys. Wouldn't you like to tell how you play with your favorite toys and how you take care of them? Who wants to be first?
first big date. I'll leave it to the girls today. They sure pick 'em cute. That's right, Tommy. Always make 'em furnish transportation. Well, kiddies, have a good time. Kitty Paradise. Well, Mary Jane, here it is. Rides galore. Boats, airplanes, trains, merry-go-rounds, and they're all for you. Boy, that's a fine ride, isn't it, kiddies? Let's try it once more. What now, kiddies? Look around. Pick one out. Ah, airplane. Looks like we have another Barney Oldfield here. Well, kiddies, it was lots of fun, wasn't it? And now, home and off to bed. And beautiful dreams.
Held the makings of a wonderful meal. And now, but wait. There is a story that goes back a long way to the time when people hadn't learned much of anything about the world around them. In those days, the food they knew best was meat. And getting a meal, any meal, was the greatest undertaking known to man. The worst part of it was, they had to eat all they could at one sitting. There was no way to save the meat. A lot of time elapsed between meals. Life was reduced to pretty simple terms. One long search for food. One of the greatest discoveries came when people found ways of preserving the meat that represented life. found that heat could be used to dry meat so that it wouldn't spoil. It lost all of its fresh flavor and some of its nutritional value, but dried meat would keep for months. The deer and buffalo of summer could feed the people in snow time. But while their stomachs were amply filled, they didn't know that their physical well-being depended on more than this. The words nutrition and well-balanced meal were as yet unknown. After thousands of years, methods hadn't improved much. Along the way, they discovered that salt would preserve meat. Unappetizing and low in food values though it was, the salt meat of those days enabled people to get around and explore the world. But whatever method they used to preserve food, people still had to devote a lot of time and effort to the problem of providing food for the future. It all required a lot of cumbersome equipment and was not always successful. Then came a chain of events that was to lead to revolutionary benefits for mankind. The year was 1809. Napoleon was out to conquer Europe. His armies were covering the continent. He could supply them with guns and ammunition, but an army, he said, travels on its stomach. The troops had to have food, nutritious food they could carry with them. So the French government offered a prize for the best way to retain the qualities of appetizing, nutritious food in a portable container. Nicolas Appert, a pickler, brewer, and confectioner of Paris, came up with the answer. He sealed pre-cooked foods in jars and bottles, which were placed in big kettles of boiling water for half an hour. After one test he conducted, beef, mutton, and partridge, after 4 months and 10 days at sea, were as good as when they were cooked. And not only had they been preserved, they tasted good. Every other previous process had largely killed the original flavor. Here, for the first time, much of the flavor was retained. Now the soldiers could have better provisions than ever before. But there was one bad feature. Appert's process preserved, but his containers didn't protect. About this time, an Englishman, Peter Durand, thought, what could be a better protector than metal? Now canning got underway with a container that packers could depend on. The crude, handmade cans were filled with freshly cooked meat. The covers were soldered on, and the cans placed in boiling water. And when the steam escaped from the vent hole, it was filled with a blob of solder. One of the first popular products was British beef for British sailors. They needed dependable provisions, for world trade was expanding. Now, canned meat keep not only in polar latitudes, where food preservation had never been a great problem, but in the heat of the tropics as well. It became standard fare for His Majesty's Navy on the 7 seas. In the meantime, canning had spread to America. There were some improvements, but cans were still largely handmade, and therefore hard to turn out fast and in sufficient quantities. In spite of crude methods, the canning business grew, and 19th century canners began to pack an important intangible: quality. They came out with new products, improved containers, and the business continued to spread out, because by the turn of the century, American homemakers had found the key to economy, convenience, nutritional value, and goodness in meal planning. They first began to realize that long kitchen hours could be cut down, that a can of meat could provide the tasty main dish. Around this time, a far-reaching improvement in tin can architecture came into existence. An improvement that was to give great impetus to an industry and change meal preparation habits for everyone. This was the sanitary can. Sanitary because the full opening permitted washing of the interior before being filled with food. Developed down the years, it is the container that today fully protects and keeps foods delicious until you are ready to use them. Think how this would have changed the lives of the cavemen, or the Pilgrim Fathers, or even people in the earliest days of the canning industry, where a man with old-fashioned tools could turn out only a few handmade cans an hour. Now, with modern equipment, he can turn out hundreds of cans a minute. Because of mass production, the price per unit is reduced. More people buy. Higher production is needed to fill the demand. Increasing numbers of people are employed. And the cycle starts all over again with more money available to buy more units. The process begins with sheets of steel coated with a very thin layer of protective tin or specially developed enamel, or both. One machine, called the slitter, cuts these into body blanks. And seconds later, finished cans emerge. Too fast? Here's what actually happens in slow motion. The body blank is not. The ends are then hooked, bumped, and the side seam sealed with solder. After the seam is made, the ends of the can body are flanged. Here is one of the secrets of the modern can's success. After the ends are stamped out, a rubber sealing material is injected into the curl of the ends. The sealing material, together with the seams, makes the can as secure as a shapes and sizes of meat cans, the same general construction. You might think that the can-making industry would be satisfied with such a wonderful can. I'm sure Appert and Durand would have considered it a miracle of perfection. But they're not. There are laboratories where staffs of experts devote themselves to doing cans and canning processes. They strip sample cans to see how well they protect. They heat cans in oil baths, increasing the pressure inside the can far beyond their normal ranges to develop stronger side seams. They study ways of improving the sealing and coating materials. Researchers in these laboratories are never fully satisfied. They are looking for better ways to catch a flavor, to retain nutrition, to furnish greater protection. They are concerned about bringing you better and better meals. We saw the time when people were tied down, when they had to follow their food supply, when they had to go shopping with a bow and arrow, when the supermarket was a barrel of salt in the cellar. Now you can stretch out your hand and select meat for dinner, food that may have grown 1,000 miles away. days of primitive dried meat, it didn't. Most of the flavor was gone anyway, and a salt meat diet was not too much of an improvement. But nowadays, flavor, nutrition, and quality is assured in an unlimited variety of canned meats. One that tells the convenience, economy, and nutrition served from a can. A story of progress, not only in the canning industry, but reflected in all related industries: transportation, steel making, food distribution, and many others, all contributing toward helping you solve meal-making problems. People of other days to whom food was such a... These would be like miracle meals. But miracles are few and far between. While this convenience, economy, this supply of wonderful, nutritious, ready-to-eat meat is within your easy reach, whenever you need it, wherever you are. But this is not the end of the story. The rest is still to be told. Tomorrow, when the meat canners are ready with the dream meals they are working on today, the meals that will be the food of your future.
It all may have happened in a little boy's mind. And then again, it may not. We leave it to you.
to go to sleep now. Remember, Dr. Chadwick said that you're well enough to go to school tomorrow. Good night. Get a good night's sleep.
Willie? Oh, Willie? Here I am, Willie.
Who are you?
Thanks for saving my life, Willie.
Where'd you come from?
Gosh, Willie, you mean, where was I born?
Well, I guess so.
Come with me, Willie. Thousands of miles away, across river, mountain, and valley. Come with me, Willie, all the way back to the forests of the South. Here I am, Willie. Here, Willie. Here. This is where I was born.
You're not a paperback. You're a tree.
That's what I'm going to tell you about. When we're ready to be harvested, along comes the woodsman. All through the southern forests, Willie, in pine and hardwood stands, cutting down trees for the pulp mills of the South. But only the trees that should be marked by the forester, Willie. Crowded stands that need to be thinned so other trees can grow. Every few years, providing a cash crop for the tree grower, Willie, and pulp wood for the paper mills of the South. Goodbye, Willie.
Where are you?
Now, children, could I have your attention, please? Tomorrow, I'd like each of you to have a little story prepared to tell your classmates. You may choose any subject. Time for bed, Willie. The way he holds on to that paper sack.
Isn't it a bit early for his bedtime? Are you sure he's feeling all right?
Yes, his temperature's all gone.
Here I am, Willie, in the mill yard. Here, Willie, right here.
What happened to you then?
Oh, a lot of things, Willie, more than a little boy can imagine. Let's go inside the paper mill. A whole series of processes take place, Willie, as we change from wood to pulp to paper. First, we go into the barking drum, where our skin is peeled clean. Then, into the chipper. Oh, ouch! Where we become tiny chips. Hey, please take it easy. Next, Willie, to the digester, the heart of the paper mill. chemicals are added to separate out our fibers, where we're cooked. And when I say cooked, I really mean cooked. Yep, we're just cooked pulp when we come out. Then we're washed again and again. Screened, beaten. Hey, ouch! Color and size are added to us, Willie, before we're refined. And now, 99% water, we're ready for the wet end of the Ford Grenier, or paper machine. Water is drawn off. Then, in these big rollers, we lose more water. And now, into the dry end of the machine, where even more water is squeezed out. In the calendar machine, we're ironed. And the winder winds us into big rolls. Well, Willie, you've just seen how paper is made. But remember, there are other processes to make pulp and paper for different paper products. Ever stop to think how many paper products there are, Willie? Newspapers, magazines, your school books, wrapping paper, packaging materials, stationery, cardboard, tissues, towels, etc., etc. Ever stop to think of what the world would be like without paper, Willie?
What's the matter, Willie?
Nothing.
You know, Willie, every person in the United States uses over 380 pounds of paper each year. That's twice as much as in most countries. You know, Willie, the South makes more than half of all the wood pulp in the United States.
Willie, what in the world is the matter with you?
I'm late. Ever stop to think what the world would be like without paper? Had a cat, and it had gray eyes. My sister named it Tiger, and black and white all over.
Very good, Kathy. And now, Willie?
Go ahead, Willie. Remember what I told you.
There's over 200 million acres of forest in the South. More than 1.5 million farmers own woodland, pine, and hardwood.
Atta boy, Willie. Tell 'em.
A lot of trees go for pulpwood to make paper. It is a $2 billion industry, the third largest in the South. 120,000 people work in the forest and pulp mills of the South, making paper for all of us in the United States. Ever stop to think what the world would be like without paper?
Willie didn't exactly know himself what the world would be like without paper. But after school, he set forth to find out. And soon, Willie discovered a whole new world of paper products. Willie found out that even some of our synthetics are made of wood pulp. Rayon cord ties, rayon fabrics. Just a hint of the importance of paper in the great world of business.
Honey, where in the world have you been?
Don't waste time, Ellen. Call Dr. Chadwick. The boy's sick again.
It's got something to do with that paper bag. I just know it.
Come on to bed, Willie. Like a good little soldier. You aren't feeling too well, are you, son?
Take that paper bag away from him. Honey, it's just paper. Goodness, you'd think the world would come to an end. Hello, Dr. Chadwick?
They don't know how important paper is, do they?
Nope, Willie. Just like a lot of folks, haven't given much thought to it.
Let's show them what the world would be like without paper.
Okay, Willie. I think we can work it.
And sure enough, in the morning, some strange things began to happen in Willie's home.
Ellen, what's going on?
Help! Help!
But outdoors, strange things were happening too. Meanwhile, a calamity had shaken the world of business. No more paperwork.
We sure showed them.
We sure did. But better get rid of me now, Willie. I'm all tuckered out. I've reached the end of my use. But I'll be back, Willie.
How do you mean?
Look. Come with me, Willie. Thousands of miles away, across river, mountain, and valley. Come with me, Willie, all the way back to the forests of the South. Here I am, Willie. Here, Willie.
How'd you get there?
Oh, I was planted by the farmer. You see, Willie, the pulp and paper industry of the South sends a conservation forester to help the tree grower treat his trees like a crop, helping him with good management practices and working all of his woodland for a continuous crop of trees, helping him get and plant seedlings like us on his worn out or abandoned land. Marking his trees for thinning his pine or hardwood stand. Removing wolf trees so healthy, well-spaced trees can grow. Helping to protect us from the curse of the forest, man-made fires that can take our lives before we're fully grown. But with good management practices, Willie, we'll grow and grow, stronger and stronger. And remember, Willie, we mean pulpwood for the southern mills and profit for the growers' tills. And one more thing, Willie, paper for all the needs of the nation.
Blow, Willie, blow.
Yes, honey. Blow.
Go on, Willie. Don't forget, there'll be more and more paper bags after me. More and more paper products for the whole nation.
It all may have happened in a little boy's mind. And then again, it may not. We leave it to you.
Play ball. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? Especially when you can bat as well as Bob. Bob's just about the best batter in the game, and all the fellows know it. They play deep when Bob comes up to bat. Jerry wishes he could do as well. He's watching to see how Bob does it. Look, without even thinking about it, Bob sets his feet so he can really hit the ball. He always stands this way, and he always holds the bat a certain way, and he always keeps his eye on the ball. Bob always bats this way, and so it's become a habit. Here comes the pitch. It's a hit. Boy, would Jerry like to make a hit like that. Who wouldn't? Look at Bob go. Come on, Bob. It's a home run. Well, now it's Jerry's turn at bat, but he's not the best batter on the team. In fact, they call Jerry an easy out. We can see why by watching how he bats. Jerry has batting habits too, but they don't help him very much, do they? And here comes strike two. And now, well, at least Jerry has one good habit. He's a good sport. He doesn't make a fuss about it. He knows he needs to learn how to bat. He needs to build the habit of holding the bat the right way and standing the right way. But how do you go about building a new habit? Now, Bob, he could help, if he would help. But Bob isn't the friendly sort. Well, Jerry will get him to help. Jerry really wants to build new batting habits right now. And this is the way to change from an old habit to a new one. First, decide what bad habit you want to break and what good habit you want to build. Then get someone to help you. You'll need someone to catch you when you make a mistake. Start your new habit right away. Take the very first chance you have to practice your new habit. And with someone helping you, don't let yourself slip back into the old habit. Stick to your new habit and practice it. There, Jerry's doing better already, isn't he? And now that he's started on his new habit of batting, he'll find it easier each time he tries. All he has to do is keep on practicing. Then he'll have a new, good habit. He'll be able to bat the new way without thinking about it. But now the game's over, and Jerry begins to notice some of the habits the others have. There are all sorts of things that we do without even thinking about doing them. They're habits. See the boy fixing his cap? That's Tim. It doesn't really matter how he wears his cap, but he always puts it on this way without even thinking about it. So this is a habit he has. And why is Eddie straightening his clothes? Because it's a habit. And it's a good habit, don't you think? Now Jerry remembers Bob has a habit that's not so good. Bob isn't very courteous. He doesn't try to be friendly, and so he doesn't have many friends. Well, if you can break a habit of batting wrong, can't you break a habit of not being courteous? Since Bob helped Jerry, Jerry decides to help Bob. So, as they start home, he mentions it. Why, Bob didn't even know he had the habit of not being courteous. But now that he knows about it, Bob would like to change to a better habit. And he wants Jerry to help him change. So they begin to talk about habits. Many things we do are habits. Bob brushes his teeth twice a day and doesn't even have to think about it. That's a good habit, isn't it? Whether we get along well or not depends on whether we have good habits or bad habits. Jerry sees a girl they know. A girl who always makes a habit of picking up her toys when she's through playing. Don't you think this is a good habit? Many, many things are habits. When we have good habits, we don't have to think about doing the right things. At the corner, Bob and Jerry notice another habit they have. They always stop and look both ways before they cross the street. Is this a good habit? What do you think? Now Bob sees how much we all need good habits. He decides to build a good habit of speaking courteously. Jerry is right here to help him. Look, here comes Mrs. Thompson, a neighbor. Here's an opportunity for Bob to start his new habit of being courteous and friendly. What will he do? That's the way. It does please Mrs. Thompson. Yes, Bob has made a good start toward building his new habit. A good habit. Now, every time he tries, he'll find it easier and easier, just as Jerry has the easy habit of being friendly and courteous. But what's this? Oh, it does pay to build good habits, doesn't it? Now there's one thing more for Bob to do before he really has the new habit of courtesy. Do you remember what it is? He has to practice. After he has the habit, he won't have to think about being friendly. But at the start, he must make sure he speaks to everyone he knows, so he'll really get the habit. Here's Mr. Smith. See? Isn't it easy? Bob won't slip back into his old habit. He's going to be courteous every time he has a chance. What's this? Another chance already? Are these children having trouble? Well, Bob can surely be friendly to them, and maybe he can help them. Their new puppy is caught under the porch, and they can't get him out. But Bob will try. He can reach farther than the others. And here's the puppy. Just look at the new friends Bob is making. He'll keep on building the habit of being friendly now. And if Bob sticks to his new habit, he'll have all the friends he wants. You see, good habits help us find many things we want. Do you want good grades in school? Then start now to build the study habits that will help you. Do you want good health? Then build good health habits. Do you want to learn how to do something? How to play an instrument? Or how to make things? Or, like Jerry, how to bat? Then build the good habits that will help you. We saw how Jerry set about building his habit. Let's remember what he did. That's the way for all of us to build new habits. First, decide just what habit you want to build. Then get someone who knows how to help you. Start your new habit right away. Don't let yourself slip back to the old habit. Keep practicing your new habit. Well, Bob and Jerry have been practicing their new habits for some time. And here's another ball game. Who's coming up to bat? Must be an easy out. Why, it's Jerry. They don't know he has a new habit, do they? They'll find out. Wow. Now who's the easy out? Not Jerry. He's a real hitter with his new habit. And Bob also has a good new habit. He's friendly and courteous now, and it makes him really part of the gang. So it's really worthwhile to build good habits, isn't it?
Photography is my hobby, and I married a camp director with a large supply of camp-happy friends. I think they're exploiting my skill, but I'm getting to like it. Even I recognize this as capers or camp chores. I'm supposed to ask you leaders if the counselor in this picture is supervising too much, too little, and why. Here the counselor has said, "Girls, it's time to make plans." Well, any plans I might make wouldn't be concerned with camping. However, these girls are 10 and 11, and many have never been to camp before. Did you notice the leader? She's giving a few hints as to what a girl can do in camp, and probably trying to arouse a bit of interest in her own special hobby. For example, hiking. The leader also directed an old camper, so she will help her tent mates carry on their planning. Here, one girl from each tent and a counselor are planning what will be the most fun for the most people. Sometimes planning gets done by the whole group, and then again, some things get done on the spur of the moment. Do you know why different ways are used with different groups? This may not look exciting, but I think it's one of the main reasons why kids go to camp. Imagine a youngster at home saying, "Hey, Mom, can I cut down a tree?" Or, "Mother, can we take some blankets and sleep in the park tonight?" As a lad, I used to take a couple of potatoes and go up into the woods, build a fire, and have nice charred potatoes for lunch. If my son did the same thing today, he'd probably be called a juvenile delinquent for starting a fire. Okay, the girls have decided an overnight would be a big adventure. It's obvious you have to learn to make blanket rolls if you're going to sleep out, so this part is easy for the leader. I bet she has a harder time getting them interested in learning simple first aid, use of hatchet and knives, and the fine art of making garbage pits and latrines. It won't be easy, but the success of the hike depends upon the girls knowing how. Right here I'd like to say, counselors are what make a good or a poor camp. This hike, for example, it's important to every single girl. It can be one of the most exciting adventures these youngsters have ever had, or it can be a nightmare. It's a mystery to me how a good leader gets a group to learn all the tricks they'll need to have fun. And what's more, to have them love every minute of it. But the good leader does it, and everybody has a wonderful time. You had better learn at least 15 ways to stimulate projects if you expect to keep a jump ahead of your gang. Not all the knots get tied right, so don't despair if blanket rolls aren't perfect after your carefully planned campaign to produce better campers. From what I've heard, there has never been a hike where someone didn't forget to pack the matches or the shovel. At least the forgotten articles here got remembered in time. Or did they? These look all right, but you'd better double check. The great day arrives, and it's a perfect summer day for hiking along woodsy paths and country roads. While the girls are gaily prancing, the counselors are making sure Susie has changed into good walking shoes, and Nancy has a first aid kit. The amount of insect or animal life lurking under rotting logs or in a rolled up leaf is truly amazing. The world is wonderful when you find it this way. Why do leaders insist on slicing off a piece of a day and labeling it nature study? This may be the larva of a swallowtail butterfly. We'll check it when we're back in camp. I had to go to the museum to check up on that bit of information. But even if you know no more than I about such things, be willing to explore and then to use the books in your camp library, or to get help from any nature lover hanging around the premises. Then at least even you can say, "Look, girls, Here's a caterpillar. A pause for rest. These girls travel light. I'd make them lug their own blankets and shovels and food and get really toughened up. But the kibitzing camp experts say that at this age, girls should carry loads of only 4 or 5 pounds for any distance. Blankets and food would weigh a heck of a lot more than that. When can you hand over a little more responsibility to the girls for getting equipment on location? Anyway, exploration and not physical prowess or endurance is the aim of this trip. Perhaps the experts are right. Carrying equipment wouldn't leave much energy to enjoy the clouds or to pick berries, and it would be too bad to miss these. Wouldn't you like a little of this program yourself right now? Time without a clock. At the moment, nothing is more important than wild blueberries. Don't belittle the importance of picking wild blueberries either. Just a hasty glance at any newspaper convinces me that a great many people could profit by a few days of the simple life. Out here, it's not how much you know about atom bombs that makes you smart, but whether or not you're foresighted enough to save a few of your blueberries to go with your supper tonight. I've finally grasped the idea that campers are the true purpose of camp, not activities. For example, these kids haven't got neat notebooks of nature facts, but you watch. They're learning to keep their eyes open. You wouldn't be able to exhibit this to parents or to camp committees, but no notebook could possibly replace the thrill these girls will get. Now look, watch. Newborn pink robin. Destination achieved, and off they race. The blanket rolls have been safely delivered, but no one is interested in checking them now. Look at that lake. What a spot for a swim. Did I hear someone say no swimming, only wading near the edge? It's a gyp. Who does this counselor think she is, anyway? I seem to be the only one objecting. Maybe I'd better shut up and listen. The leader has merely said that the girls couldn't be safely guarded away from the shore, and that's that. I have learned, number 1, the counselor is responsible for safety, and number 2, the group recognizes the leader's authority. Come to think of it, this is the first rule the counselor has arbitrarily handed down to the gang. And you know, they don't seem to mind it at all. Things have been going pretty well. Somebody must have a book of rules somewhere. I'll hunt that up later. After that hike, everyone is probably starved. These little tin can stoves look like a good idea. Everyone can get her own meal, work at her own speed, and the counselor can help those who need help and just keep an eye on those who can go it alone. Pancakes sound like a crazy supper to me, but that's what the girls chose, and all the counselor had to do was to steer the rest of the choices into a well-balanced menu. Building a fire is a serious business when having your supper depends on it. This, I suspect, is edible, providing you are a very hungry camper. Good campers have the most fun. And what really interests me, they end up with the best pancakes. Here's our old camper again, reflecting all the ease and confidence that comes with learning to do things right. Not so long ago, I wouldn't have appreciated this little scene. Before choosing a camp for my daughter, I would have checked on the size of the swimming area and the number of special buildings for such activities as dramatics and crafts. But not anymore. Now I'd want to be sure everyone was more concerned with the campers than with the activities. It would be nice to feel that the little girl who burned her pancake would be able to make one like this the next time she tries. That's where some of this morning's blueberries are going. Now that is a pancake. You see those little black specks in there? They're not bugs, they're the blueberries. And that bacon looks so fresh and crisp. And almost smell it. And now the campfire is lit. I only hope this camper has learned how to use a knife without getting a hunk carved out of her finger. S'mores. If you've never heard of them, here's the idea. A graham cracker, a square of chocolate, toasted marshmallows, and another graham cracker on top. Frankly, they're just as horrible as they sound. Toasted marshmallows would be bad enough, but the kids all say burnt marshmallows taste better. A s'more for the leader, too. Doesn't that suggest the counselor's relationship to the girls? She not only supervises capers and watches out for their health and safety, she also has fun camping with her group. If you really like your kids and enjoy doing things with them too, you may get a s'more some campfire. Isn't that a beautiful setting? Ah, sweet bliss. Starlight, a campfire, and a nice gooey s'more. Bug. A s'more. Bedtime. This field doesn't look too comfortable. I don't blame you, sis. It looks pretty lumpy to me, too. Say, this gal is ingenious. I guess she does know how to use her knife. There doesn't seem to be any cuts left over from getting her stick cut for s'mores, or for these branches for a mattress. This is an improvement over the bare field, but I'm still glad I'm sleeping at home tonight. Uh-oh, look at this. I didn't know that's what they wore. This juniper bush does look nice and springy. But say, don't some of the needles get in the bed too? Now that the bull session is over and everybody settles down for the night, look at those feet sticking out. Wouldn't you love to tickle them? Sleep in quiet. What's this? Somebody must have left some crackers beside her bed. Funny-looking old fellow, isn't he? You know, he looks like an uncle on my wife's side of the family. Oh, he must have heard us. He's turning his back. Take a good look, sis. You don't see them this close very often. And be careful not to brush away friend Raccoon's footprints. You'll need them as evidence tomorrow morning. No one will believe you. Everybody is fast asleep. Good night.
Did you ever feel as if you've been left out? Well, that's when it really hurts. When no one understands that you'd do a good job if you had a chance, and that you'd make good. You feel pretty low when you've been left out. And that's the way it was with Eddie Johnson. And this is his story. A story about the importance of trustworthiness.
Well, hi, Eddie.
Hello, Dad. What are you doing?
Well, you're kind of late, and Mother was counting on you fixing this lamp, so I thought I'd better do it and have it ready. Is anything wrong, son?
No.
Come on, you can trust me with your troubles, can't you, Eddie?
Why does everybody keep talking about trusting people? They elected Bob the treasurer of ours because he was trustworthy. And me? They put me on the cleanup committee. I wouldn't have stolen their money. What's all this about, being trustworthy?
Wait a minute. It can't be that bad. Let's start from the beginning. Tell me what happened.
Well, I've been in our hobby club for about 3 years now, and I wanted to be treasurer. I should have been, too. But at our meeting today...
And this is Eddie Johnson's story. The story of a boy who had his heart set on being treasurer of his club. Of course, there wasn't any real reason for Eddie to be elected, but like most of us, he just hoped. He hoped someone would nominate him. But whose name do you think they thought of first? Bob West, one of Eddie's best friends. Jim Small was nominated too. And Mary Burns. But Eddie? Well, no one even thought to mention Eddie. And you can't nominate yourself, even when you want the job.
So before Eddie knew it, the nominations were closed. And when the voting was over, Bob had won. They said he was elected because he was so trustworthy. Why should they think of Bob as trustworthy and not Eddie?
Well, I'm not going to do any work in the cleanup committee. Why should they say he's trustworthy, Dad? What's being trustworthy got to do with being a treasurer?
Well, Eddie, a treasurer certainly must be trustworthy. But being trustworthy is pretty important to all of us in almost everything we do. If you think of the things you do every day, I'm sure you'll see the important part that trustworthiness plays in helping us to get along with others. Take school, for example. We all depend on teachers to fulfill their trust to the parents and all the boys and girls to do a good job of teaching, just as all the boys and girls must keep trust with their teachers to prepare their lessons every day. That's how trustworthiness is important at school. And what about trustworthiness with your friends? You're willing to lend something when you can trust a friend to return it. And your friends trust you to take good care of the things you borrow. Being trustworthy with your friends is mighty important. And how about trustworthiness with the different groups of people you meet all around you? You trust the man in the store to sell you fresh things of good quality and to deal with everyone honestly and fairly. That helps us all to live together well, doesn't it? So, trustworthiness with groups is important too. Even in the home, trustworthiness makes it easier to get along.
But I've never taken anything that I shouldn't have or robbed anyone. I'm trustworthy.
Well, let's see. I've always noticed that people have to show they can be trusted with little things before they can be trusted with big things. Just like, well, doing what you say you will.
Like fixing the lamp, for instance?
Yes, fixing a lamp, for instance.
You know, Dad, come to think of it, Bob is a good choice for treasurer. I can see where he has proved his trustworthiness. I was just remembering.
Just remembering. Remembering that Bob shows he can be trusted to do little things. You can always be sure, for example, that when he says he'll prepare a class report, he'll stick to it and do a good job, even when it might be more fun to do something else. That's not a very big thing, but it has helped make Bob known for being trustworthy. At the charge-out desk, Bob helps out at regular times, and he always remembers to be on the job when he's supposed to. Being on time may seem a little thing, too, but it's another important way to show that you're trustworthy. And everybody knows that Bob has had experience handling money and keeping accounts. People are willing to trust someone who has proved he can do the job. Yes, all these little things have given Bob a reputation for always keeping whatever trust he accepts.
People do trust Bob. He deserved to be treasurer, all right. But how can I learn to be trustworthy, too?
Well, by showing that he could be trusted in little things, Bob was trusted in big things, too. Perhaps that's the way.
That's what I'm going to do. I guess being trustworthy is pretty important. And I'm taking that job on the cleanup committee.
Good, it worked.
Yeah. You know, I have a lot of trusts already. Most of them little, but I never thought of them as trusts before. Trusts at school, at home, with friends, and I'm going to make sure I keep them.
Being trustworthy includes a lot. From now on, Eddie is going to keep trust by getting to school on time. And he's going to prepare his lessons every day. Well, those are good ways to be trustworthy at school, aren't they? And think of the trust you have at home. Eddie is going to do a good job when he says he'll help with the work around the house. And he'll make sure to take good care of all the things he's responsible for. That's the way to be trustworthy at home, isn't it? How about being trustworthy with friends? Well, after this, when Eddie wants to borrow something from friends, he's going to be certain they know he'll return it, and he'll take good care of it. That's one way to be trustworthy with your friends. And what about groups? Well, Eddie has a trust with the hobby club to do his job. But sometimes cleaning up isn't much fun. Why not play darts instead? No one around, no one would know the difference. The cleaning could be done later. But what was that Dad said? People have to show they can be trusted with little things if they want to be trusted with big ones. That's right. From now on, Eddie can be counted on to keep his trust with groups. That's the way a good group keeps going. Each member must keep trust.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Eddie. What do you got there?
A chart on trustworthiness with all the things we talked about on it. I've been finding out how important trustworthiness really is. And you know, Dad, you can find it everywhere.
The things you do and...
And look, Dad, here's what trustworthiness means. Here's what you have to do. To be trustworthy, keep your word, play fair, do a good job, and be on time.
That sounds very good, Eddie.
And you know, Dad, it really works. I've been offered the job at the library desk in our clubroom. That's the job Bob had before he became treasurer.
Well, that's how Eddie Johnson learned something about trustworthiness. And what about you? Do you always keep your trusts? Remember, when you show you're trustworthy in little things, you'll be trusted with big things. And that's the way to gain a reputation for being trustworthy.
Oh, hi, kids. Here's a riddle for you to solve. Not an ordinary riddle, but a very special one. Because the right answer may save your life someday. Are you ready? What is it that a friendly stranger can sometimes be a terrible danger? Do you know the answer? We do. My name is Gabby. And this is my, assistant, Pat.
Your assistant? Now, just a minute, young lady. If I didn't pull your string, you couldn't even open up your mouth.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Pat. Pat and I are really a team. She pulls the string, and I do the talking. In other words, she's the muscles, and I'm the brains in this act.
Gabby!
Something tells me I better start using my brains on our riddle before Pat uses her muscle on my, other end.
Don't tempt me.
Have you guessed the answer to our riddle yet, kids? Why is it that a friendly stranger can sometimes be a terrible danger? Give up? Well, the answer is...
Wait a minute, Gabby. Before you tell the boys and girls the answer to this riddle, don't you think you ought to make sure they all know what a stranger really is? After all, we do have some little friends out there.
They all know what a stranger is, don't you, kids? You don't? Hey, I got an idea. Let's see what kind of detectives you are out there. I want everybody to close their eyes. And when I count 3, open them again. And see how many strangers you can spot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ouch! fine this time. It's not very comfortable all squeezed in here like this. Ready? Close your eyes. Hey, you two back there with the freckles. 1, 2, 3. Ah, that's much better. For a minute, I thought I was really stuck out there. All right, now, kids, let's go on a stranger hunt. This looks like a good place to start. Here come two friends of mine on their way home from the school playground. They always meet lots of people on the way. Let's go with them and see if you can spot which people they meet are strangers. Come on. First, there's this nice-looking man. Children have seen him many times, parked outside the school gate. He always smiles and says hello. They think that he's probably waiting for his own little girl or boy. What do you think, kid? Is he a stranger? Here comes Mrs. Wilson. Her boy Jimmy goes to school with our friends, and she works in the PTA with their mothers. Is she a stranger? Hey, isn't that a cute little dog, kid? Oh, this must be the little dog's master. Our friends have never seen this man before. He says that he's just moved in the neighborhood. Seems real nice, doesn't he? Don't think you're going to have any trouble figuring out if he's a stranger or not. Oh, boy! An ice cream truck! Looks like I'm not the only one around here who likes ice cream. Maybe she doesn't know what she wants, but I'll take an orange popsicle.
Debbie,
An ice cream cone?
just get back to our story.
Oh, all right. Now, what about the ice cream man, kid? He seems to know our friends real well. They buy ice cream from him almost every day. He knows their name, and they know his name, too. Could he be a stranger?
Debbie!
Huh?
Where did you get that?
What?
That popsicle in your hand.
Oh, that? I found it.
Oh, Debbie, how could you? Never mind, just get rid of it.
But, Pat, you've always taught me never to waste food.
Yes, and I've also taught you that it's very bad manners to eat in front of other people, especially when you don't have enough to offer them.
I'm sorry, kid. I'll go put it away.
That's a good idea, honey. And while you're doing that, I'll explain our detective game to the boys and girls. We've just seen some people that our friends met on their way home. Did you guess which ones were strangers? Let's see. Here are two little boxes. One is a yes box, and the other a no box. Now we're going to look at these people again. And when Gabby asks you if they are strangers, you tell her how to mark them. Yes or no. Are you ready, Gabby?
All ready. Okay, kids. Who are the strangers? Was this man a stranger to our little friend? How should we mark him? Yes or no? They had seen him parked out in front of the school gate many times. He seemed very friendly, but do they really know him? They didn't know his name or where he came from, did they? So, the answer is yes. He was a stranger. Mrs. Wilson knew the children, and she knew their parents and teachers, too. She certainly wasn't a stranger, was she? And I know you got this one right. After all, everybody knows that a person we've never seen before is a stranger. But what about the ice cream man? Our friends saw him almost every day. They knew his name, and he knew theirs. You certainly wouldn't say he was a stranger, or would you? When you really think about it, what did the children know about this man? Did they know his family, or where he lived? They didn't know the answer to these very important questions, did they? So you see, he really was a stranger after all.
Sometimes it's hard for boys and girls to know who is a stranger and who isn't.
Well, you can see a person many times, and they may be very nice, but they can still be a stranger. Seeing someone often doesn't always help us to get to know them better.
To help you understand what a stranger really is, Debbie's worked out a rule, which we hope you will remember.
Right, Pat. Kids, this is one time when it's best to let a grown-up be your guide. So here's my rule. Anyone your mom and dad or teachers do not know, no matter how often you may see them or how nice they may seem, is still a stranger. And as you will see later on, you should treat them like a stranger.
Now that we all know what a stranger is, don't you think that you ought to get back to that riddle, Gabby?
Pat, you took the words right out of my mouth.
That's funny. I always thought I was the one that put them in.
Very funny.
I thought so.
Will you do me a favor and just pull the string around here? I'll make the jokes, all right?
All right.
All right.
Gabby, that's enough.
All right.
Gabby.
So I said, well, I don't need you.
You what?
You heard it. You said it. Are you finished, Giggles?
Uh-huh.
Then I can go on?
Yes, dear, go on.
It's just that it's hard for me to talk when you're giggling like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because you see, you're just not that good a ventriloquist.
All right. Stop it and sit up here. You're impossible.
I am not. I'm Gabby. Can I go on?
Yes, dear, go right ahead.
Before I give you the answer, kids, here's a clue to our riddle. Can you tell by looking at strangers if they are good or bad? Most people are good. They love children, and they wouldn't do anything in the world to hurt them.
But there are some people in this world that are sick.
Oh, not with the measles or the mumps, or anything like that that you can see.
No, these people are sick inside their heads. They get things all mixed up. They don't seem to know right from wrong. And they do bad things. And they even hurt boys and girls.
Which brings us back to my question. Can you tell, just by looking at a stranger, if he's a friendly person who loves children?
Or if he's one of those sick people who could hurt you?
Let's see if you can. We're going to look at two men now. One of them is a dangerous stranger. Let's see if you can tell which one. Here we are. This is our first man. Oh, he sure looks like a rough customer, doesn't he? Could he be one of those sick people we were talking about? One of those dangerous strangers? Or could it be this man? Why, look. It's a nice-looking man that was parked in front of the school. Oh, it couldn't be him. This other man looks much more dangerous. Whoops.
Looks like we picked the wrong man.
He certainly isn't a dangerous stranger, is he, Gabby?
I should say not. In fact, this policeman is probably one of the best friends any boy or girl ever had. He's the man that's always there to help us. He's always on the job, trying to make our cities and town a better, safer place for kids like you and me to grow up in.
But if he isn't the one, Gabby, then it must be this other man.
Gee, I don't know. He certainly doesn't look like one of those dangerous people we have to watch out for, does he, kid? Maybe neither one of these men is a dangerous stranger.
Well, let's follow this man and see.
He's calling that little girl over to his car. I wonder what he wants. Oh, he wants her to help him find an address. I wouldn't get too close to that car if I were you. You don't know who this man is. Uh-oh. Now he wants you to get in his car and show him the place he's looking for. I don't like the looks of this. What's he doing now? He's offering her some money. Don't take that, little girl. That's being smart. Hey, look out! That's it! Scream good and loud! Now run! Wait a minute. You're safe now. He's driving away. But quick, get his license number. There's a stone. Scratch the number on the sidewalk with the stone. 875-021. And remember, kids, if you ever get in a spot like our little friend, and you don't have a pencil to write down the license number, do what she did, or find a stick and write it in the dirt. And you can tell the police what the man looked like, what kind of a car he was driving, and his license number. And if I know our friend the policeman, he'll catch that man and put him somewhere where he won't bother any more boys and girls. Right, Pat?
Right, Gabby.
So you see, kids, you can't always tell if a person is good or bad just by the way he looks. Now remember that because, well, it's sort of a clue to the answer to our riddle.
There is one way to spot these dangerous strangers, Gabby.
How, Pat?
By the way they act. And there's certain things they do. For example, when the man we just saw tried to get the little girls to go into his car, we knew he was one of those dangerous strangers, didn't we?
That's true, Pat. There are certain things that the kids can watch out for. Sort of danger signals. Like the stranger that's too friendly.
You know, I think it would be a good idea for you to show our friends some of these danger signals so that they will recognize them when they see them.
Say, that's a swell idea. You know, you're pretty smart. For a grown-up.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Come on, kids, and we'll show you what to watch out for. Here's somebody that we know is up to no good. Just look at him, will you? Sitting there nice as you please, feeding the birds. Don't go near him, little girl. He may look very nice to you, but take it from me, he's not. Right, kids? Let him keep his old peanuts. You just stay away from him. No! Go back! Don't let him touch you.
Oh, don't ever let a stranger touch you, little girl. Kids, don't let anyone but your family put their arms around you, straighten your clothes, or touch you. You can be pretty sure when a stranger tries to do these things, he's out to hurt you. Say, it looks like our friend the policeman is looking for someone. I wonder who it can be.
Here's a boy who's really looking for trouble.
Kid, this silly boy could meet one of those dangerous strangers.
Yes, there is one place that they like to hang around.
And that's public restrooms.
That's right, Gabby.
Smart boys and girls use restrooms when they have to, but they finish quickly and never stay to play. Hey, fella, I think you better find another place to play. And fast. Yes, sir. Public restrooms are no place to play.
These two girls know the rule for selling things door to door, whether it's Girl Scout cookies or Christmas cards.
Never go alone, kids. Always go with a friend. And never go into a stranger's house either. Stay outside, where it's safe.
And boys and girls, if you're home alone or babysitting, never let a stranger come into the house.
That's right, Pat. As you see, sometimes we can spot these dangerous strangers by the way they act or the certain things they do. But many times we don't find out until it's too late.
Gabby, I think we have company.
Well, will you look who's here? There's one dangerous stranger who isn't going to be bothering any boys and girls from now on. Right, Officer Jones?
Right, Gabby.
Hey, we really fooled the kids for a minute there, didn't we?
That's right, Gabby. But we just wanted to teach the boys and girls something. That you can't ever judge a person by the way he looks.
Yeah, just look how nice this dangerous stranger looks. Eek.
That's right, Gabby. But thanks to the little girl who wrote down his license number and remembered what he looked like and what kind of a car he was driving, we were able to catch this man before he hurt anyone. Now we are going to put him away for a long time to make sure he doesn't bother any more boys and girls. And remember, kids, if a stranger ever bothers you, run away and tell the nearest policeman. And don't forget, get a good look at him first. If he is driving a car, remember what it looks like and copy down the license number somewhere. If you can help us this way, we can keep these dangerous strangers off the streets and keep your hometown a safer place for you. And thanks for your help, Gabby. Keep up the good work.
Did you see that? He winked at me. He did. He winked at me.
Oh, Gabby, don't be silly. Now sit up here.
I am not being silly. Huh. At least someone around here appreciates me. Hey, kids, I'm awful glad he caught that guy, aren't you?
We all are, Gabby. But don't you think that you've kept the boys and girls waiting long enough for the answer to that riddle?
Yeah, I guess you're right, Pat.
Well, let's get on with it then, dear.
Okay, but first I've given the boys and girls 2 important clues to the answer. Do you remember what they are, Pat?
I think so. First, you never can tell if a stranger is good or bad, just by the way he looks.
Right. And the second clue?
Well, sometimes we can recognize these bad strangers by the things they do or the way they act.
Yes.
But by that time, it could be too late, and we could be in danger already.
Hey, very good, Pat. We've also learned one other important thing, kids, and that is that most sick, or dangerous strangers seem very friendly. Now, can you guess the answer to our riddle? Let's see if they can, huh, Pat? Why is it that a friendly stranger can sometimes be a terrible danger? The answer is simple. Though he seems nice and kind, to hurt us may be what he has in mind.
Though he seems nice and kind, to hurt us may be what he has in mind. Very good, Gabby. Doesn't your riddle and rhyme book have some good tips for the boys and girls on how to play it safe with strangers?
It sure does, Pat. It says here that boys and girls should never take chances with strangers, especially strangers that seem too friendly. Smart boys and girls never take money or gifts of any kind from strangers. And smart boys and girls never let a stranger straighten their clothes, put their arms around them, or touch them in any way. Smart boys and girls never get into a stranger's car. In fact, they never go near a stranger's car. Hey, remember what happened to that little girl who was going to help that man find an address? She was lucky. You might not be that lucky. Smart boys and girls never play around public restrooms. And smart boys and girls never take shortcuts through deserted alleys. And never take shortcuts down lonely streets. The few minutes you might save certainly isn't worth the trouble you might find in these places. Smart boys and girls always go directly home after school unless they have their parents' permission to go somewhere else.
In fact, boys and girls, you should never go anywhere without first telling your folks where you are going and how long you will be. This way, if you ever do get into trouble, they'll know about it quickly enough to help you.
Now we come to the end of our book, and it's time for Pat and me to say
goodbye, boys and girls. Remember our riddle, remember our rhyme.
Stay safe and happy, and have a good time.
Prizes. What does one under the influence of LSD hear, see, and do? We're about to take you into the world of the LSD user. A world that to him is real, yet as terrifying and unreal as anything ever imagined. We call his trip of terror to fly a giant bird.